Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, Ace. Ace of Pentacles, very nice. I wonder if you've just recently started some new project, some new endeavor, some new, a new path. I feel like you've taken the first step somewhere, and the first step's always the hardest part, so congratulations. I feel like you're somebody who is, you're excited for what this path is going to offer you, right? It feels like this is karma, this is destiny, this is fate, this is where you belong, this is the right path for you. There's a chance here that, and I sort of like to do this sort of duality with the readings in terms of the aces and the tens, because sometimes the aces can be, yes, new beginning. Maybe you've taken the first step on a path and you're excited for it. Maybe the ace really is the summit of the mountain, though, right? When you think of, the Ten of Pentacles, it's kind of the base, right? The wide base of the pyramid. And as we go up the mountain, it gets more and more narrow until we get to the very summit. It could be that you're a lot closer to your goal than you thought. Okay, we're going to have to put this card into some context, but I feel like your luck is really improving right now. I feel like this card's also saying that you're going to get the resources that you need. The people, places, things that you need are going to show up on your path when you need them. Spirit's also saying don't look for alternatives. Don't start trying to change course now. Okay, let's put this card into some context. Let's see what's going on here. God, six, yeah. Six of Wands is victory after a struggle, right? So I wonder if this is kind of like the final boss for you. I wonder if this is like the last big push to get to the summit. Yeah, Six of Wands, very nice. Seven of Cups, Seven of Wands. We've got a Prince of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups. Oh man, if we're talking about the base of the mountain and the summit of the mountain, I think we have both of those ideas here, obviously. Whatever you're doing right now, whether you are just at the beginning or if you're getting close to the end of this particular project or event or this path or this endeavor of yours, this journey, this quest, it is going to be the best thing that's ever happened to you, right? It's going to change your life forever. It's going to feel like bliss, right? This is the picture-perfect life. This is the fullness of life. This is the richness of life. It's something that is enriching your life. And it's interesting, too, that we've got kind of the sevens here, right? Because the sevens are saying that, yeah, it's been a struggle. So I feel like this is something that you've already been in the process of doing, and I wonder if the ace is then sort of like the next step, this last step you have to take. And it maybe, I feel that's true when I say that the first step is always the most difficult. I feel like the last step is always the most challenging. It's sort of difficult for us to overcome our inertia and take the first step, but then it's sort of it's very challenging for us to take that final step. It's almost like the final step is like the biggest challenge, the hardest part of the journey, because we're overcoming, let's say, external forces, right? At the beginning, we're overcoming our own inertia, but at the end, we're sort of overcoming, the biggest challenge that Spirit could throw our way. And maybe that's how we know that we're very close to the finish line here, because it's the big challenge here, right? Final boss sort of energy. But we have that in the background here, the sevens anyway. We've got a Princess of Wands. We've got a Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is the divine blueprint. This is having the plan, right, to achieve the success. So again, Spirit's saying, don't change plans, don't change course, stick to what you know, stick to what you believe in, stick to what you've already established, and as challenging as it may get, persist in that chosen direction, and you will achieve this 10 of Cups. This is right in the middle of the table too. This is front and center. The spotlight is right here on that 10 of Cups. We've got a 2 of Cups here, and we've got a 3 of Pentacles there. I wonder if the 2 of Cups is kind of saying, yeah, I hope this isn't the beginning of the journey, right? Because we don't want, the 2 is kind of like, the 2 is sometimes the excitement that we feel right at the beginning of something, when the relationship's still new. It feels good, it feels fun, it feels exciting. And I wonder if you've already been through that phase, you've already been struggling with something. Doesn't mean we're talking about a relationship. We could be. But you don't want to go back to the beginning. It's like you've already been through that phase, and you've done all the work, all the building up of this thing, and you don't want to go back to the beginning. So you're like, this better be the final step to the finish line, to the success, to the rewards, to the satisfaction, to the fulfillment of this for you. This is good. And we've got the card of the Builder. We've got a lot of good cards here. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor, Infinite, and Unknown. We're going to put it down right here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. Happy little Bob. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. All right, let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise. Let's look around the room here. One thing I notice is that there are no major arcana energies. Spirit is really trying to emphasize that your success here is your achievement, right? Spirit wants you to take credit for what you are building, what you're accomplishing, what you're doing, what the rewards are all yours. And I think that, the reason why there's no major arcana energy here, too, is because this isn't a sort of a karmic lesson for you. I think this is a karmic reward, if anything. So, in other words, Spirit's not trying to emphasize any particular lesson that you're supposed to learn. Spirit's trying to say, you've learned your lesson, let's see you implement it and get this big win, get this big jackpot, this big dream come true, because you know how to do it now. There's nothing in your way, right? You got the 6 of Wands, the 6 of Swords. Your intention is pure and harmonious and beautiful, and your plan, your thoughts, your communication, your relationship with the environment, this isn't a knot, right? In the position of the environment, this is not a karmic knot that needs to be untied. No, this is saying that you've untied that knot already, and you're in harmony with life. Your relationship with your environment is beautiful and resonant and harmonious, right? Spirit is saying that there was a theft in your life fairly recently, yeah? I feel like that's just been resolved. I think whatever it was that was taken, you've sort of, I don't know if you bought a new one or if it was returned to you, but that situation is done, yeah? Spirit's saying, don't complicate things now. We've got the Ace of Pentacles at the very beginning, first card, Ace of Pentacles. Complexity right now is going to increase the probability of failure, right? It's sort of that airplane rule, right? And so when we get this high up the mountain, again, if this is we're getting close to the summit, right? There's less room for error. The margin for error now is very thin when you're close to the summit. There's no room for alternatives. There's no room for second guessing. We're not trying to make things any more complex than they need to be. In fact, we want simple movements, simple instructions, simple thoughts, especially when you're way high up on the mountain, because you're sort of deprived of oxygen, and so we can't think in complex ways when we're way up here, right? It could be that you're so close to success that you're starting to have that excitement, and you're starting to kind of already celebrate. Let's just keep it very simple, very straightforward, just one foot in front of the other. You're almost there. Big win, jackpot, victory after struggle, and satisfaction, right, after sorrow. This is the Ten of Cups, and it's sort of, when we pull ourselves out of the Seven of Cups, we get that Ten of Cups, just as the Six of Wands is the victory after the strife, right? Victory as a reward for your valor, in this case, okay? So I think that you are very close to your achievement here, whatever it may be, whatever you are involved, whatever you're building in your life right now is going to be really, really great. The Seven of Cups underneath everything, though, I think is kind of this, it's this, to me it almost feels like, when you're really, really hungry and you start to get nauseous. That's kind of what it feels like. Maybe I'm just hungry. It is early in the morning for me. But I feel that this is that sort of energy that is, it's kind of saying, if I don't succeed at this soon, I'm not going to be able to keep pushing forward. It's kind of like I'm on my last sort of leg here, my last nerve almost, that I'm, if I don't get something to eat now, I'm going to be kind of sick, and I'm going to have to sit down or whatever. So this is that feeling. It's down beneath the surface, and I think it's sort of starting to grow a little bit, where we're just like, I better get to the finish line soon. That's all I'm saying. I'm not quitting yet, but let's just say things need to hurry up a little bit. Okay. This is the idea on, we're talking about climbing the summit of the mountain, thinking Mount Everest, right? You ever watch that show Everest? I don't know what channel it was on, maybe Netflix. I'm sure you could find little clips of it here on YouTube. It's the idea that when you're climbing Everest, you don't want to ever sit down. Because the idea there is, if you sit down, you're not likely to get back up again. And that really, when I hear that, watching that show, I don't know why it scared me, because I could imagine sitting there or being there, and that idea that if you stop moving, then you've stopped moving, right? And that's kind of a scary thing. So it's like, what? I better get to the finish line soon, because eventually my legs just aren't going to work anymore. Eventually I'm sort of going to be forced to sit down, and then we all know what happens once we do that. So there is this growing sense of, time's running short a little bit for you. Yeah. And I think this is the challenge that you're overcoming. The Seven of Cups is giving way to the Ten of Cups. If this is you being so hungry that you're feeling ill, this is the buffet, right? This is everything that you want. And we know that when you're that hungry, or let's say you've been fasting, right? Go slow. I do intermittent fasting. My wife and I are starting to implement, once a week we're doing a 24-hour fast. Now, I'm not advocating that sort of stuff. I don't know what's good for you. I know what maybe is working for me, but don't take this as advice or anything. But we sort of, we're learning more about ourselves and about our bodies through that process, kind of learning like what hunger really is, in a way, and I don't want to get into any philosophical or heaven forbid political or moral, discussions about it. But for me personally, I know what it means to sort of be hungry. I know what it means to be without food for a couple days. In fact, when I was hospitalized, I was NPO for 30 days. I couldn't eat for 30 days. I couldn't drink water for 30 days. And that was the most suffering I've ever endured, you know. And I think it really thinking back to that situation reminds me that, hey, if I haven't eaten in a few hours and my stomach's sort of grumbling, I'm sure you hear it on the channel very often, my stomach's rumbling, I'm not actually that hungry, you know. That's, you know, maybe my stomach saying, hey, I'm empty, feed me, you know. But you know, it's not in any kind of danger of going away. I still have quite a bit of a tummy there, you know. And that's kind of what I'm feeling with your energy here, especially with the sevens, okay? Because the sevens are like, hey, this is hard, but I got a lot more left in me to go, you know. And the seven, I think when we get to the Seven of Cups, we sort of start to realize that, okay, eventually I'm going to get actually really, truly hungry, and I'm going to have to do something about it, like to the point where my body's I'm not going to be able to keep moving. But I think you sort of know when that point is. And I think that your success is coming well before that point. Okay? But I think that the Seven of Cups is down beneath the surface. And it's for that reason. It's you understanding that, look, I want my rewards now, but I know that I've got more energy in me. I've got more push, right? And it's going to be well worth your efforts. This is ultimate satisfaction. This is ultimate fulfillment, and it's the effort that you're putting into it. I think the satisfaction is going to be exponentially greater than the amount of effort you put in. You know, this is more than worth all of your struggles, all of your, you know, the hunger that we feel, that we're trying to sort of move past, you know, that feeling of, you know, it's kind of like, I used to live that way, you know, where it's just like, as soon as I started to feel like my stomach was empty, like, I guess I got to eat. I must eat now, you know. The idea is, no, my stomach can go a little, I have plenty of energy left. You know, I got plenty of glucose left, or ATP, whatever it is. I don't know the biochemistry, but, you know, it's there. The effort, the motivation, the ability to do work is there. And that's the seven, both of the sevens, but the Seven of Wands as well. Now, Spirit's saying that you had some, I don't know, that your parents or whoever raised you, they were sort of anxious people, or they were, I don't know if they were like, they had their own business, or they worked a lot of hours. I see that they were kind of like very busy people. And I don't know if it was like an anxious sort of energy, or if they were sort of overworked or something like that, right? And I wonder if maybe you've inherited a little bit of your work ethic from them. The Seven of Wands here this is our ability to push through any difficulty. It's like you're the kind of person that you sprain your ankle, you're still running the marathon, you know? That you get an injury or an illness, and you just think, this isn't putting me out of commission. I can still push forward. Just like with the Seven of Cups, I really want my desires to be fulfilled right now, but I can wait a little while. You know, it's sort of a delayed gratification, and this is sort of the other side of that, and just your ability to push through an injury or an illness and keep going. It's kind of like when you get a cold or you're sick or something, you don't stop working for the day. You know, you're there too. Maybe you're going to wear a mask, or you're going to just work from home or whatever, but you're still up doing your stuff. And maybe that's something you inherited from your folks. Maybe that's just this idea that I can't afford to stop working. If I get sick, I still got to keep going, you know. But this is your ability to really do what needs to be done to get the job done, you know. And I think you're being rewarded for this effort. And so it is this, in a sense, a delayed gratification. That all of this suffering, all of this hard work, all of the aches and pains, all of the rumbling in your tummy, you know, all of the hunger pangs, are being compensated, are being rewarded, are being gratified in a very major way. And to me, this is the ultimate sort of idea of karma. The sacrifices that you made now, and in the past, let's say, are being very greatly rewarded, right? With this big win. Whatever it is, I don't know what you're doing. In fact, I can't really see much of what you're doing. I don't know if this is an education thing, if this is a business thing, or if this is literally just you've been working on something, and well, the weekend's going to be here and it's going to be nice, you know. The Prince of Pentacles is up at the top of the path of the dove. So this is what you're focused on. It's sort of like you're in this phase of building, climbing. I'm doing the work. I'm running the marathon. Maybe I'm sore and hungry. You know, I realize how hungry I am inside. But you realize that your ability to continue is what's going to bring you over here. So we're sort of going this arc right here, right? We're going seven of wands to the 10 of cups, and it's just a matter of you keeping going. Okay. And this is again, Prince of Pentacles. This is the builder. This is the one that has already received the plans, the blueprints from the architect, right? These are the blueprints. The builder, the contractor, has already received the plans, and their job is just to build it. Not to figure out why, not to worry about the cost or whatever, just to build. It's just you got the plans, you keep going. And then you sort of, you know, you get that 7 of wands. You think some things are going wrong. There's been some obstacles. I just need to do what I can to keep going, right? And it's in a way, it's kind of like we get sick, we take a little bit of medicine, and we're able to go to work. We're able to continue with our day, you know. And that's kind of what we need to do, you know. That we try to manage the symptoms. Now, I'm not a doctor. This isn't a medical reading. These are analogies anyway, you know. But I wonder too, I'm starting to wonder if maybe in part of this journey you did run into some injury or illness, you know, with that 7 of wands. And well, I mean, 7 of wands and 7 of cups together, this might be both an injury and an illness at the same time, okay? But again, it's not a medical reading, but if you did experience that, if it was an injury and or an illness, feels like everything is working out very, very well for you. Okay? The builder here is doing what it can to mitigate the delays, mitigate the problems. You know, if there's an issue getting lumber or there's an issue getting nails or something, we sort of have to roll with the punches and adapt and deal with it as we go. We don't want to... whatever it takes to keep the project going, you know, to keep the people building this thing and keep the work flowing, whatever I got to do to make that happen. Yeah. And so that's kind of your tenacity, that's your ingenuity, that's your adaptability, that's your really like get it done sort of attitude, you know. And that's hard work right there. I don't care who you are. The reward is insane. It's nuts. I mean, it is, to me, it feels like a karmic reward. It feels like it is the result of all of your effort, but it is exponential. Okay? Dream come true. Dream come true. And it's, you know, it's kind of like, hey, you know, I'm willing to suffer through things as they are. I'm willing to sort of, you know, I'm willing to be tired and hungry and sore and to have the sniffles or whatever. I'm willing to sort of suffer a little bit because I know that it's going to be worth it. You know, I'm willing to intermittently fast or fast for the 24-hour period. Again, I'm not advocating that. Check with your doctor or whatever. But I'm willing to do that for me because, one, I know what it feels like. And so I know... you know, I know sort of what to look for in myself to say, okay, I better eat now, you know. But also I know that this is something that is healthy for me and it's leading to better things. Now, I'm that kind of person that I can't eat a really, really big meal at once. You know, that's when I get some stomach issues and, you know, with my jaw, and it's just, you know, it's not good for me. I'm better with taking smaller meals, you know, here and there. Yeah, but, you know, that's just me. Anyway, that's beside the point. Path of the Serpent. We're going to talk about this, and I would like to ask for your subscription, too. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. Doesn't cost anything. It supports the channel. I also have a another channel, Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories. If you would like me to read a story to you while you fall asleep at night, go check out my other channel. There's a few stories up there already, but I'm going to be adding more each week. All right. So your general energy is the Princess of Wands, and this to me feels like it's a surge of energy. It's kind of like energy that comes out of nowhere. It's just like, again, back to the fasting thing. You fast for a day and you would expect that you're getting sort of tired. I haven't eaten, I have no energy, I have no fuel, right? Your body's making fuel, at least, in theory. And again, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a physical trainer or whatever, none of those things, right? I read tarot on YouTube. That's what I do. Reading the energy here. This is that resurgence of energy, which, using a metaphor or an analogy, is like when you fasted for a day or two and you would expect that you're getting tired and worn out and you have less energy, but then there comes that blast of energy out of nowhere, right? That your body sort of realizes, okay, I guess we're not going to eat today. We still got work to do. Let's kick out the ATP or the glucose or whatever it is in there that's doing stuff. And that's the resurgence of that energy. So for you, I feel like it is when we're facing that like final challenge, that big final boss. It's like the last step. We're almost at the summit, and it's just like we get that burst of energy where you feel like you could just sort of run through the snow up to the summit of Everest. And I feel like this is something you're experiencing now, or you will be experiencing, that sort of surge of energy. And I think when you feel that, it's best to utilize it, to make this final push, because this is. We should just stop the reading with that 10 of Cups, because that's all of it. That's everything, right? But we have these other cards here, and we might as well talk about them. The Six of Swords in the position of your environment shows that you've already done that you've already untied those karmic knots that we talk about. And again, that's why there's no major arcana energy here, because Spirit's saying this isn't a lesson for you to learn. This is about you implementing the lessons that you've already learned. So it's kind of like you're in your medical training course, or you're in your, I don't know, whatever, boot camp or something, basic training. And you're being shown all of the skills. You're being taught the skills. And the teacher or the instructor or the professor or whatever is kind of pointing out what you've been doing wrong. And he used to hate that. Now, I was an EMT for a short period of time, and my favorite part of that was, of course, going through the schooling, right? Because you sort of go through the book stuff, and I did really, really well in the book stuff. I aced all the quizzes and tests and everything. But when it came to the skills, the teachers would sort of point out what my weaknesses are, what I was doing wrong. The things that I missed, the things that I didn't do or didn't say, or, that sort of thing. And at first I started to take it personally, like, God, I guess I'm just terrible at this. I guess I'm not made for this, right? But I realized that, well, that's the point. That's what it's for. It's not for praising how good you do in certain things. It's about showing you what you haven't been doing so well, so you can strengthen those weak spots, right? And that, I feel like, is the sort of nature of some of this spiritual work. That doing the spiritual work, or the psychological development, or the self-work, whatever you want to call it, it's challenging, because it's going to point out our weak spots, our buttons, our karmic knots, our sore spots, right? Those are the things that we're supposed to work on. Yeah. And so you're in this training course, and the instructor is showing you how terrible you are at certain things so you can improve those things, and then you graduate the class, or you get to the final test, and then the instructor says, okay, now that I've taught you what you need to know, and you've seen where all your weak spots are, now you're going to have to go out into the real world and do it as sort of your final test, your final exam, And so it's not about you sort of being taught or learning the lessons now. Now you have to go out and prove that you've understood, you see. And I think that's what's going on here. Okay. And the Six of Swords in the the position of the environment. It shows a real beauty in the plan that you've set up. It shows a lot of clarity, a lot of harmony after confusion. Just as the 6 shows a victory after strife, right? Or a victory after struggle, right? The 6 of Swords shows a clarity and a harmony and a resonance after either a disagreement or after some confusion or some sort of, intellectual or mental struggle. Yeah. And so it's Spirit's way of saying you've understood the material. Don't change anything right now. Take what you have and what you know and implement it. Do it. Okay. It's kind of like the final test where, you're going to have to go out into the wilderness or whatever, and you're going to have to kind of prove that you know your stuff, that you know your skills, right? The 2 of Cups is the position of what we kind of don't want right now. And I think that when we're on the path of the dove, the 2 of Cups is what we don't want because it sort of represents, in this sense, the immediate gratification, right? It's kind of like you can take a 2 of Cups now or a 10 of Cups later. I know you're hungry. Do you want a candy bar? Do you want a snack? It's sort of a temptation. We're saying, no, I don't want that. I'm going for the big one. I'm going for all the marbles, right? And so this kind of comes in as a temptation. So this is the energy we don't want, and that's the position of the dove and serpent spread. This is the position of the card we don't want. I don't want the consolation prize or the parting gift. I want all of it. I want the grand prize. Okay? So I'm willing to work hard to get the big, great satisfaction here rather than just taking a smaller snack now. I'd rather have a big feast at the end of the day than just settle for just a little something now just so my tummy would be quiet during the readings, right? And in fact, I don't eat until after my readings. I'm here filming usually 5 readings a day. It takes me 5 hours to do 5 readings. And I usually don't eat until the afternoon, But that's just me. I'm not recommending it or anything. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. But it's the idea that, hey, I'm willing to do what I need to do now, right? So that I can just sit down, relax, enjoy a bigger meal with my family later, rather than just trying to hurry up and eat a couple of snacks here, crumbs all over the table and that sort of thing. The 3 of Pentacles that we have at the end, right? I think as you understanding the process of creation on the physical plane, you understand the base of the mountain and the summit of the mountain, and you understand sort of what it takes to really be, I was going to say to be the best, but to get this satisfaction of the 10 of Cups, you understand what it takes. This is the blood, sweat, and tears, right? And, maybe cooperation. We don't see a lot of court cards, we see a couple of court cards here. I don't know if this is a group effort or a team effort or what you're really doing. But you went into this understanding what it would take, what it's asking of you. Okay? And I think this is really good. I think this is, you were going into this knowing that it was going to be challenging, knowing that it would be sort of a grueling hike, And that's just the thing about climbing a mountain or going on a hike, It's like it's strenuous, I used to go on some hikes here and there. I went on a hike out in California, Mission Peak, I think it was called. Nothing. It was like 7 miles, I think, round trip. But it was fairly steep in sections, and for a hike, I guess. It wasn't a climb, it was a hike. And I was thinking, why am I doing this? It was right after my transplant too. So I just I was weak. I wasn't as fortified, I guess, as I had been before. And I was just like, why am I doing this? Why did I agree to this? I don't think I knew how challenging it was going to be for me. And I was huffing and puffing. I got to the top of Mission Peak and I couldn't speak. That's how out of breath I was, But I made it, and it was glorious. But I think the 3 of Pentacles is the realization that you should know what you're getting into. This would have been me saying, look, this is going to like destroy my muscles. I'm going to be just drained and depleted when I get to the top there, but it's worth it. And I'm going to do it. And I know what I'm getting into. I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to hurt, I didn't have that realization. I thought, it's not going to be so bad. I used to go on hikes all the time. But after the transplant, my muscles weren't there anymore, But you know what you're getting into. And I think that this has prepared you for the sort of these struggles here, right? This is really good. Anyway, mystery card. What are we doing with mystery card here? Let's see. I don't know. I mean, we don't really need anything. Maybe a major arcana card as a confirmation. Maybe the Justice card, your power card, right? If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. I'm thinking major arcana. Here we go. No, an 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups is interesting because it confirms what I was saying about the 2 of Cups, about the sort of delayed gratification, right? This is sort of you understanding that, hey, you could just not do any of this at all and have a pretty good meal here. This is pretty nice. An 8 of Cups. You've got a lot to do right here. This would be perfectly fine. But it's like you're walking away from something that's good to sort of say, I'm going to do something. It's like, the comfort of your own house. Why are you going to leave the comfort of your own house to go climb up Mount Everest in the snow and the wind and the torturous and dangerous, activities like that? Why would you do that? But this is what the 8 of Cups is. We're walking away from something in search of something better. So, there's nothing wrong with these cups. See, the cups aren't knocked over. You didn't kick the cups over and smash them. No one else. I don't want these. No one should have those. No. It's just saying that was good. Yeah, but you're in search of something even more powerful, more meaningful, more significant, more fulfilling in your life. I feel like that's why you undertook this process. That's why you said, yeah, I know it's going to be hard. That's the point. It's almost saying the harder it is, the greater the reward's going to be. Okay? So that's what we do with this card. That's the 8 of Cups. We're walking away from something that is just not as fulfilling to us. Maybe it was at one point. Maybe at some point in the past, something was enough. And then we just said, it's not enough anymore. I want the big one. I want the big, significant, life-changing kind of, event, activity, endeavor, project, quest, journey, hike, climb, whatever you're doing. This is extraordinary. It's really, really good. Really, really good. Look out for 6s and 7s in your life. I think lucky numbers 3, 6, 7. Definitely your lucky numbers now, right? 3, 6, and 7. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there is a link up in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Libra Wednesday and Saturday. Be sure to watch both readings. Both very important. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Go subscribe to Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories as well. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this